Donk Nation, Jackson Jennings, it's your boy the Viking Donkey, and we got some great things to talk about this week on Nonsensical Steelers Talk, as we have Gingy back to talk about A.A. Ron coming back to the Steelers and the schedule that's upcoming. But first, hit him with the intro.
Nonsensical Pittsburgh Steelers talk. Every single week we take that walk through the history, the present, and the future bright. Steel City story shining ever so light. Yeah, Viking, Donkey, Gingy, Lasker, a legendary crew. Talking Steelers football through and through.
That's right, Jackson Jennings. As promised, we're back with Gingy, keeping it nonsensical. And, Gingy, it's gotten pretty hype in the little while you've been gone. We got a schedule. We get to play the first game in Paris. And, of course, A.A. Ron's back. Gingy, how are you feeling?
Mutant Gingy in the house, boy, he's back and he's expensive. But when you look at that starting quarterback market out there, Donkey,
He's cheap.
all
cheap,
quarterbacks
Gingy.
are expensive. Exactly.
He's cheap, dude. What was it that you were
Extremely.
telling me Stafford just got?
I think it was a $50 million for Stafford.
50
1 year?
million for Stafford. My God, man. If they win, it's worth it, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Damn.
Bargain at that rate.
I think even with Aaron, that just puts our quarterback spending up to 21st in the NFL. So there's actually like 11 teams that spend less on quarterbacks than the Steelers, Gingy. Can you believe it?
I wonder what that puts our total offense at with a couple of additions there.
I'm sorry, what?
I wonder what that puts our total offense at in terms of monetary, right? With a couple of off-season acquisitions, where that puts us in terms of spending.
Yeah, it puts it to where our defense isn't 70% of the payroll anymore. You also have to factor in we're not paying a single offensive lineman. Running back, we're paying below average at. I think the only position where the Steelers... there's two positions where the Steelers on offense are in the top half of the NFL in spending. And Gingy, you want to take a guess at what two positions they are?
Offense.
Yeah,
Wide receiver.
Correct.
Wide receiver. Yeah, and I don't know the other one. Tight end.
Tight end with Pat Fire. Yep, tight end because of Pat Firemove's contract. The only two positions where the Steelers rank in the top half of the NFL in spending dollars. Kind of a unique take there when you think about the Steelers, the way they've built these teams to be more running based, that the only positions we spend on are ones that have almost nothing to do with the running game, all things considered. So, Gingy, where do you want to start here? Do you want to talk about what is the expectation now that Aaron is on board, or do you want to talk about the schedule first?
Yeah, what's the we got a team coming here together, Donkey. We look like what it's going to be with a first-year Mike McCarthy operation in there with some familiar faces around him. How do you think that relationship's immediately going to go with the history there?
Well, since those two never seem to be at each other or at odds, I would say I think it's going to be smooth sailing, right? Of course, the narrative is it's smooth sailing as long as the Steelers don't go through a stretch of suckitude, because we know what happens with Aaron when the team sucks around him. We didn't get an experience last year in Pittsburgh because, let's be honest, that team didn't suck. The team was good. Now, the question is, do you think that's going to happen again? Is it going to be all hunky-dory happiness? Or is this team going to suck and we get to see the Aaron that was in the Jets that's like, it's everybody's fault and I'm here to get everybody fired?
I don't know, Donkey. It's about how that line unit is going to gel together. Do we have a breakdown of what that starting unit is going to look like and who's moving where?
OTAs have started with Fontanu at left tackle and Mason McCormick moving over to left guard. So the right side of the line just became the left side of the line. And Max is over there playing every position known to man, apparently, except for center. They're moving him all about. So I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how it's going to look. It sounds like the Steelers don't know how it's going to look because the offensive line coach, the offensive coordinator, and Mike McCarthy have come out preaching this word, which to me just means no one's good. We need versatility across the offensive line. We need people who can play multiple positions. Do you know what they say? I'm a big baseball fan, Gingy. So do you know what they say about people who are a jack of all trades?
What's that, donkey?
It just means you're not good enough to start anywhere. That's what it means. And it's true. When you're a good enough player, they're going to play you at your spot. It's when you're not good enough to start that they try to make you play everywhere else. So the fact that that's opening word from OTAs, Gingy, my concern meter went from like a 7 about this offensive line to about a 9.5.
No, that's not good. Not good language, donkey. We want to have guys who I don't know if I'm 100% with you on that. Versatility on the offensive line can be pretty useful.
I can understand what you're saying on that, but I'm going to name you a few great offensive linemen, and you tell me how versatile they were. Alan Faneca, Marquise Pouncey. Do you want me to keep going? David DeCastro, Kendall Simmons, Max Starks. You know what I never heard mentioned with any of those guys? And by the way, 2 of them are probably going to be Hall of Famers. One of them is a Hall of Famer. Do you know what word was never used with them, Gingy?
Versatility, donkey.
Versatile. They were never called versatile. They were called grinders, bullies, all these words you want associated with a big, bad offensive line, Gingy. You know what word I don't want associated with my big, bad bullies? Versatile. Versatile. Get the hell out of here with that. Give me a dude who's a grinder. Give me a dude who's a bully. Give me a dude who, hey, it doesn't matter if we play him or left guard or right guard because he's going to bully everyone in front of him. That's not the language we're using. Oh, we're trying them all over because we believe versatility is important. Get the hell out of here. You want to know where versatility is important? Nowhere. Nowhere in football is versatility important. Give me someone who does their job and does it well, Gingy. I know we have a special guest listening in, not saying anything, who's a Patriots fan. Do you know what Bill Belichick's motto was? Do your job. These guys shouldn't be learning other people's job, Gingy. They should be doing their job. That's what I got to say.
I hear you, donkey. But people get injured. Things happen. And it's good to have people who can open up opportunities for different guys. Depth, donkey. Versatility adds depth.
I hear you if someone gets hurt. But if someone gets hurt, why the hell is my left tackle going to go play right tackle? My left tackle should stay at left tackle. My center should stay at center. I don't need versatility in my starter, Gingy. I need my backups to be versatile. I need my starters to be good.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that offensive line is going to be what we need, donkey, because we see what happens when the Steelers get forced into a situation where Aaron Rodgers has to throw the ball quick, which he can do. Time to his time to release and whatever, like all other aging quarterbacks, increasing or decreasing, excuse me, doesn't really take that much heat back in the pocket. So the more protection you can get him,
in the NFL.
Yeah, the more that you can protect him. If you can't protect him, donkey, the Steelers become one-dimensional on offense. We see what happens when the Steelers become one-dimensional on offense. When the defense knows what's coming and you don't have any over-the-top threat, you can't fool them into anything.
That's been our offense since 2017, Gingy. Jesus, just
you can't fool them into
break
anything.
My heart.
Well, it is what it is, donkey.
Good news coming out of OTAs is I hear Jeremy Bernard, man. I'm hearing a lot of people absolutely love what that kid's putting on, and I told you he's the guy I wanted to draft from the get-go. Could look really good with him going in there if Pittman could play on the outside, put up the numbers he put up in Indy. You get DK back to being a 1,200-ish yard receiver. You had Bernard in there with, let's say, 700 yards. It could look really good on that triple wide receiving core with Aaron back there to deliver the football.
I'm pretty rocking. I hear that. Gotta
Before
get
we
him the
get
time up
talking,
front, Donkey.
yeah, for sure. Before we get talking the schedule here, Gingy, one last story I want to bring up I thought was interesting. People were talking about Pat Fryermuth and how he had his worst year and how the Steelers should get rid of him, but then the people are like, but you have to remember Mike Tomlin and specifically Arthur Smith was actually mentioned. They're like, well, Arthur Smith wanted to make sure he got Jonnu in there, and that's why Firemouth's staff struggled because Jonnu and Firemouth both played the primary pass catching tight end as opposed to the run blocking tight end, and that's what really hurt Firemouth last year. Gingy, tell me a better story to hear at the end of a Tomlin thing than Mike Tomlin not only was about Tomlin playing Tomlin's guys on defense, but he hired an offensive coordinator who essentially was what Mike Tomlin is, which is I'm going to play the guy I like, not the better player. Do you think there was some truance to that, or do you think this is just a couple salty media people putting in their hearsay? Because the reason I ask you is, if you believe that the better player was Johnny Smith last year, we're in kind of trouble with Firemouth, right? But if you believe this story, the ceiling is the limit for Firemouth, right, Gingy?
That sounds like business being drummed up, Donkey. I don't know about that. From what I saw from Johnny Smith, listen, he got the rock. The rock went his way. He was
4 yards catch. I don't know if that's what it ended this season, but that's what he was all year. 4 yards.
It wasn't there. It wasn't there for him. There wasn't openings or space. He didn't. I don't know if he really dropped the ball anywhere, but he didn't make any plays happen.
There's a specific play I remember down the field with the ball going through his hands that was either like a big fourth down or it got intercepted in a game that just sticks in my head.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the fact, Jimmy, I've never seen so many goddamn end arounds run to a frickin' tight end that I wanted to murder someone. And it wasn't his fault I wanted to murder him. But end arounds to a tight end. That's what I'm going to always remember with Johnny Smith.
It didn't work ever, not once.
No, they were worse than us with screen passes, and that tells you something.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I don't know if that's real business, Donkey. I'd like to see Freiermuth really thrive in a offensive-oriented Mike McCarthy scheme.
Yeah, maybe we'll use the middle of the field too. Who knows? I mean, I think last year Aaron Rodgers, in terms of pass attempts, was the least likely in the NFL to throw the ball over 20 yards, and also was the least likely in the NFL to throw it between the hashes. Like, the two most successful throws in the NFL were the throws we were least likely to attempt. That's got to change, right?
Yeah, that's not over the middle, Donkey. It's open. It's open Gingy, when we have the time.
I'm going to bring up a fun fact that maybe is a big level of concern that we should talk about more with Aaron coming back. Is Gingy, Aaron is the check down champion since leaving Green Bay. That includes his time in New York. That includes his time with Pittsburgh. Now, in Pittsburgh, we can say, hey, that's Mike Tomlin, business as usual. But when you consider he was doing that in New York before he came here, do we need to be fearful that Aaron Rodgers is not going to be willing to take the shots that are necessary to make this offense a success?
If he's, you know what, Donkey, if we're winning games as a team, he's taking the shots. If we are not performing well, I don't know if I can say the same thing. I think I don't care if he's 42 or not. If he's winning, he still loves it that much where he's going to take the shots, I think.
All right. That's fair. Let's get to talking the NFL schedule then. And we won't actually say which games we're predicting. We'll do that closer to the season. But just give a general vibe on what we feel the record's going to be going through this schedule. Of course, so I'll just read through the games really quick. If you have weird nuances you want to mention them after, and then I'll mention mine after. Of course, we start with Atlanta coming to Pittsburgh. We go then to New England, have Cincinnati come to Pittsburgh. Thursday night game going to Cleveland after that. Hosting the Colts. Then we go to Tampa Bay. We play New Orleans in Paris. I believe New Orleans is technically the home team on that one. Then we come back and have Cleveland come to Pittsburgh, get our bye week. Then we go to Cincinnati, go to Philadelphia, host the Broncos, host the Texans, go to Jacksonville, host the Ravens, go to Carolina, get a final cakewalk based off last year's schedule, going to Tennessee, and then going to Baltimore. My goodness gracious, Gingy, after the bye week and after the Bengals, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 6 games are playoff teams, and the non-playoff team in that stretch is the Baltimore Ravens. I wanted to go
That's
through
rough.
that because that stretch is brutal, man.
Yeah, it's
and
rough.
that's the
That end of the
first thing
season's
I
tough.
wanted to point out.
Yeah, I noticed that too, Donkey. I think I said that pretty much again. Thanksgiving on is pretty rough, except for your, what did you say, Cupcake in Tennessee, maybe.
Based off last year, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, Donkey. I don't know. We're gonna have to perform, stay healthy, and turn on at the right time at the end.
Now, Gingy, I also want to point out this oddity because this is the dumbest thing ever. We don't get to play Cleveland on a regular week all year. We play them on a Thursday game, and then the next time we play them is after international travel to Paris. What? Why did Cleveland get the luck of playing us on 2 shit weeks?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't like that at all. I don't like the way our schedule is set up based on home, away, and buys. If you understand what that means.
I hear you. I was expecting the bye to be the week right after the Paris game, but no, we got to play the Browns again on a weird rest week.
Not what I was looking for there. The Steelers always seem to get stuck in that predicament, eh?
Yeah, I guess so. But really, Gingy, when you look at this schedule, if you're going off last year's records, there's one cakewalk team that's not in our division. The whole schedule, I guess two cakewalk teams, you would say, that aren't division teams, because the only teams we play that didn't have at least 8 wins, and remember, most of these teams with 8 wins, by the way, all tied to win the NFC South, and the tiebreaker went to Carolina. Because remember, Tampa Bay, Atlanta, and Carolina all ended up at 8 and 9. The only 2 teams with a losing record then, or non-8 win record, the Tennessee Titans, which we play it's 18 weeks now on the schedule, right? So week 17. And we play the New Orleans Saints, who are 6-11 overseas. So that's kind of a bad time to play one. So one true game against a team that was sub 8 wins last year and not a division opponent. That schedule, man.
It's rough.
I guess that's what happens when you take first place. But, ugh. I don't like it.
I agree.
I don't like it on
tough.
So many fronts.
They're going to have to stay healthy, and they're going to have to compete within that division. What do you think the rest of the division is going to look like this year? Cincinnati going to lay over again? Are they back?
The Bengals have a scary offense, and they've added enough pieces on defense, although losing Trey Hendrickson is a huge loss, right? Like, he was their defense for 2 years. But a lot of times when you lose that focal guy, you just become a better cohesive unit. I really think you see the Bengals take a step forward. I don't think you see them back to where they're that championship contender, though, right? I just think they're paying too many players and are still weak in too many spots for it to come up with. But I think they're a team you don't want to play. I think they're one of those 9-8 teams that everybody hopes misses the playoffs, right? Without a doubt. That's what I think. Then let's move to Baltimore, Gingy. Where are you seeing the Ravens go?
I don't know. It always depends on whether Lamar's healthy, right?
Agreed. That's actually what my main point is. Is Lamar healthy? Yep.
Is he healthy? If they are... Okay, when he stays healthy, they usually roll on one of those 12-win, 13-win seasons type of deal, and when he's not, they're winning like 9 or 10 and squeaking. Pretty much how I see the pattern going.
I'm fully with you. I think the Ravens are purely based off Lamar. And that leaves us with, I'm going to be honest here. It's a team of intrigue, and it's not because I think they're good, but I think they're going to be better. And them being better is bad for Pittsburgh because they always seem to beat us even when they suck nowadays since Roethlisberger's retired. That's the Browns, and I fully think Deshaun Watson's going to become their quarterback. I fully think he's going to be average at quarterback, but that's better than they had in a long time. I really feel the Browns are going to push that 8-win mark, Gingy. I feel they have an upside of getting there.
Ooh, that's bold, I think, Donkey. Quite bold.
It is. I'm not going to lie, but they have some good corners. They have the ability to make turnovers on defense. They have a new coaching regime. And I really, really feel they did a solid job in addressing skilled players in the draft. That I think this is a team that I don't think they're going to be good. I don't think that. I think they're a team that's going to do well in the North. I think they're going to come away from the North with a winning record, Gingy.
Oh.
And I think that's how they get to 8 wins. I think they win 4, possibly 5 division games.
That's bold. That's bold, Donkey.
It is. I'm not with it. How are you seeing things work out with the Browns and the Bengals for that matter? Because we didn't really get to hear your take on them.
I think the Bengals are on the up, and I think the Browns are still tanking.
Fair. I don't see how, like, if they were going, and this is where I get it. Dude, Myles Garrett's the type of guy who's good for 2 wins a year. Like, there are just games where you can't run your offense because Myles Garrett, even getting double teamed, sometimes just wins football games. I hate to say it, but dude, put on the tape the last 2 years, and there's at least 2 games every year where the Browns got smoked, but Myles Garrett won the football game. It's ridiculous how elite that guy has been. And it's ridiculous how probably one of the other guys you could say is on that level happened to be in the same division. Although he needs to take a step forward for us to be successful.
Yeah, I hear you. I think that I think the Steelers are going to come away with the North again, Donkey, but I think it's going to be dramatic fashion.
I think it's the
much like last season.
I think it's the Ratbirds that get it this year. And Gingy, hear me out. I think our offensive line gets Aaron Rodgers hurt around week 11. Or whatever, like sometime between that game with Cleveland on Halloween and the Broncos game. I think Aaron Rodgers gets hurt. And I think Aaron Rodgers getting hurt I don't think there's a quarterback ready to step up and take this team up there. And I personally think Lamar's healthy again this year. I really feel there's going to be 2 really painful losses at the end of the year to the Baltimore Ravens.
Say it ain't so.
I would love to, but I think it is. Which then gets us to prediction for this. Quick glance looking at it. I think the Steelers run 10-7. That's really where I feel they go.
I don't know if I'm willing to put a number on it this week, Donkey. Let me think about it. But what I will tell you is that if Aaron Rodgers gets hurt in week 11, it ain't going to be 10-7.
I think it will. And hear me out. I think the Steelers are in a really good spot. I think the Steelers are in a really good spot early in that schedule. I feel like that's the spot to make a run. You're talking Cleveland, Indy, Tampa, New Orleans, Cincy, New England, Atlanta from back end to front end of the spot where they should really make a run. I think all the hoopla is going to distract New England. I think you have a chance to get a cheap one there. And then the Steelers, man, I feel the split with Cleveland's coming, but I feel the Steelers dominate Cincinnati this one. And then you're talking Indy, man, I don't trust Danny Dimes to make anything. You're talking Tampa Bay with kind of rebuilding that roster at this point, losing lots of players, including Dean, who came up here to Pittsburgh. You're talking New Orleans overseas. Dude, Tyler Shutt, I'm ready for him to throw the ball to the black and gold. So then you get to the bye week for the Steelers, Gingy, and honestly, I'm looking at a team that should have at least what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wins by the bye week. And that's 3 more for the rest of the season. It doesn't matter who plays, we're going to split with Baltimore, right? So that's one of the 2 wins. Tennessee should be a guaranteed win, in my opinion. So then you're talking, you need 1 win in this group. Cincinnati, Philly, Denver, Houston, Jacksonville, Carolina. I feel like one of those teams is going to have a bad year, and right there's your other win. 10. Nice and simple. Don't put me on which game's which yet. I haven't narrowed that down, but I see 3 wins or 4 wins after the bye, 6 wins before the bye, right? Or
that can do it, Donkey.
7 and 3. I don't know.
That math adds. That math adds.
I might have done 7 and 3. I don't know. I confused myself. It's nonsensical. Cut me some slack, Gingy. Don't be so mean.
I didn't do it, Donkey. You did it to yourself.
Any other NFL news that you're interested by going on still in the NFL?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything else, really.
It's a nothing time. Still some interesting free agents available who maybe we'll see sign a little later. Who knows? Who cares? We got to see a schedule. We got A-Rod back, Gingy, and in my opinion, that does give us the best chance at doing something. But, Gingy, I'm not as hyped this year as I was last year because I feel like a lot of the juggernauts have done what they need to do to shore themselves up, and we're not looking as weak as we did last year in the AFC, which makes me sad. And I'm going to be honest with you, Gingy. Some of these new blood teams are a little bit scary, right? Like, what happens with the Houston Texans if homeboy Stroud figures it out again like he did as a rookie? Like, that team's a juggernaut, right? Denver, that defense is amazing. What happens if Bo Nix doesn't get hurt in the playoffs this time? New England, is this kid for real? Or, like, Gingy, is that quarterback in New England for real? Is that team going to be for real again? Is there a new dynasty in New England? How about, we didn't even talk about it, Sunshine Trevor Lawrence won 12 games last year. Those are just the new bloods, Gingy.
AFC looking hot.
Yeah, that's not mentioning the old blood Chiefs with Mahomes healthy and adding, oh my God, how the hell did anyone let Kenneth Walker end up in Kansas City, right? You got Josh Allen doing his thing in Buffalo, and can Lamar bring it back in Baltimore? The AFC is ready for some spice, Gingy. Although, I'm going to be honest with you, Gingy, we're not near as spicy as the NFC West is all by itself, and that's with Arizona sucking.
It's true. It'll be an exciting year. It'll be an exciting year. I'm excited to see. I really want to see a rebound year from DK Metcalf. Getting him back to maybe an 1,100 yard, 1,200 yard guy, being able to make Pittman better on the other side. Would love to see that this year.
I think adding Pittman, adding Jeremy Bernard, maybe Roman Wilson stepping up, I think that's what's going to help make DK better, right? Him not being the focal point all the time, that's what should help. And being in an offense, Gingy, where people can't just predict what you're doing by personnel groups and all that, and not running frickin' 12, 13 personnel all the time like the Steelers did. Modernizing the offense should help all these guys get better. With that, I guess it's time to go. Do you have a shout out for this, or are we just going to go to my little lame one? Because I actually have one for this week.
Let's hear it.
Ryan Shazier, got paralyzed, did his little dirt, came back, but a new job with the Steelers. And the quote that made me have to give him a shout out is, I was born in this. I was born to bleed black and gold. I believe it was along those lines. I liked it, so I was like, I'm going to give you a shout-out this week because I appreciate that. And, gives Gingy a shout-out because, close to a special day for him. And also, I'm not going to forget it and have to do it a week late this week. Memorial Day is coming up, so obviously, shout out to everyone who gave their all in that pantheon of warriors. Because I guess I mentioned it earlier, it's a good bring back to end it on. And now I'll let you know I'm the Viking Donkey. It's Viking Donkey _donkey on Twitch and Twitter, your daily dose of donkeys, Ginger's, this awesome YouTube channel where you get the sweet content. We'll make Gingy break down who he thinks is going to win what game and when next time we talk to him. Don't think it'll be next week, possibly the week after. But Gingy, you can of course let him know.
Mutant Gingy in the house. It's nonsensical, and it's football, baby. Here we go, Steelers.